Hello and welcome to another tutorial with Mr. English. Hopefully you watched our previous tutorial about how to start your STAAR social studies test. If you haven't, go back and watch those first. If not, pick up, go back, take your time with it. You do have a week remaining. It's Saturday school, it's April 11th right now. Hopefully you're ready to go. This is a mock STAAR, it's not the real thing, so don't get too upset, too excited about it. That being said, after they told you could open your test, your name and phone number, you opened it up, you folded it in half, you set up your error blocks, colonization, American Revolution, you put your graphic organizers in there for your brain dump, came over here, put your map of the United States on there, complete with the different territories. We've got it all separated for you here. You can check that out in the previous tutorial. The next thing you're going to do is you're actually going to start using those cue blocks. It's very important that you actually use them. It's not just there to look pretty, and you can tell that doesn't look pretty, but it's not just there for show. It's there for use. It has a practical application. Make sure you're using it. Students in my 7th period class kind of blew this off last Friday when they took their test. I want to make sure that you're doing it appropriately and you know how to use it, which is why you're getting this individual tutorial right now. That being said, we're going to look at question 1. Now that being said, we come over here and we look at question 1. In which event demonstrated that citizens sometimes disobey government? So we have disobey government policies. That is going to be civil disobedience. Please make sure that you are annotating as you take your test. I'm going to break out my handy dandy highlighter, which you should have in your bag as well. If you don't have your highlighter, make sure that you're asking for one when you start the exam. Cool? Only when you get to the questions though. So civil disobedience, we've studied this before. It should be one of your flashcards. This is a buzzword. You should know this. Look at our answer choices here. Boston Tea Party, ratification of the Constitution, annexation of Texas, War of 1812. Well, I know civil disobedience, the big thing that we study in civil disobedience is going to come from the American Revolution. So I'm going to go back over here to American Revolution. I'm going to write question 1. That goes into that block. So I know that later when I take this test, and there are 50-some questions on this, I can refer back to question 1 for any question that also talks about the revolution, and I can get that information from it. So the answer choice you're going to find here, of course, is going to be Boston Tea Party. Ratification of the Constitution, they're voting. That's not civil disobedience. Everybody's cool with that. And we've got the annexation of Texas. That's a war. That's not civil disobedience. That goes far beyond civil disobedience. Civil disobedience, you're acting out, but you're not killing anybody. War, you're killing people. And then we've got the War of 1812. Again, another war. So not going to work out for that. So use your process of elimination here. Get rid of that. We got question 1 done. Let's move on to question 2. What advice did President George Washington, so we're going to put the important information here, President George Washington, give the nation in his farewell address of 1796? Well, he's already president, right? He's not general anymore. If he's not general, then we're not in the revolution, which means question 2 is going to fit into where he's president. Question 2 is now with the new republic. We've got that, so we've got a president. So we know we can add this. We know we don't have presidents, and I'm going to go back up here because I forgot. I can write civil disobedience. Use the test to take the test. This STAAR gives you all the answers you need. You just have to be clever enough to see the trail of breadcrumbs that they leave for you. It's there. You're guaranteed to pass if you find these things. It's like little Easter eggs. Hey, if you guys are watching Daredevil, all kinds of Easter eggs in that show. You're doing the same thing here, just with history. Apply it. So we come back over here, and we're going to look at our answer choices. The answer choice here is J. We've got Americans should avoid permanent alliances. Avoid permanent alliances. You can go through the process of elimination later in a video where I address that. But for right now, I'm just going to go through to show you how to set this up. Question 3 is kind of tricky. All right? We got a question here. In which 2 newspapers are the headlines correctly dated? So we got multiple dates here. 1607, well, that's Jamestown. Check. New Constitution drafted, 1787. That's a check. Declaration of Independence announced? Sorry, that's wrong. You have to know this date, 1776. And the Civil War comes to an end? That's another date that you just have to know off the top of your head, 1865. So we come down here and we take a look at this. London Gazetteer and the Charleston Courier. That's answer choice D, so we get rid of that. But we've got 2 dates, 1607, which is going to be colonization. So question 3 is going to fit there. But then the other date is 1787 with the Constitution. And if you set up your blocks correctly and you put the Constitution on here, well, then you know that question 3 also fits into era 3. Make sure that you're putting these in here so you can use them later. Make sure you're using them. Cool? So 1787 is now the date that I can add to that gives me that. Cool? Excellent. And up here I can write 1607 Jamestown. You shouldn't need to add this because you should know 1607 by rote memorization. You should know 1787 by rote memorization. You should know the other dates by rote memorization. But if you didn't, make sure you find the one that you do trust in and make sure you're in a process of eliminating. Cool, we're going to do one more question. Then we come down here. We've got the question about what do all three of these amendments have in common? Well, we've got the Second Amendment, the Third Amendment, and the Eighth Amendment. So those are all within the first 10, which means that those amendments fit into the, you guessed it, Bill of Rights. So question 4 is also going to fit right here. Bill of Rights, we put it in there 1 through 10. We come back over here. The answer choice here, we've got bear arms, we've got all that stuff. Safeguard the rights to criticize the federal government, strengthen the power of the federal government, protect individuals against actions by the federal government, or they promote the idea of equal rights by minorities. Well, we protect the individuals. Protect individuals against actions. That was the whole point of it. There you go. This one right here, you might think, safeguard the right of individuals to criticize. It's freedom of speech, right? But it's only in the First Amendment. We see Second, Third, and Eighth. So make sure you're going through it. All three of these amendments have in common. Cool. So, quickly, just to recap, question 1 goes here, question 2, 3, and 4, and question 3 also fits up here. Make sure that you're organizing these, because when you get through question 10, and you get later in the test, and you start going brain dead from staring at all these major quotes that are out there, you're going to want to refer to these so you can double check your answers. Okay? Do it. It's a guaranteed way to pass.